Here's why. Before giving your mid-butt opinion, learn to do a proper video. Okay, little bro. I thought I said don't yap in the comments.
So, you guys probably don't know this, but I made a video saying that I think the Switch 2 is going to fail. However, I was open-minded, and if I thought the Direct was good, I was going to change my mind maybe. And well, I'm sorry, but I don't think the Direct is good. I'm sorry. And I'm not the only one. A lot of people don't think the Direct is good, rightfully so. So, I'm not going to go through everything in this Direct, because it's like an hour long, and a lot of it's just indie games. We're going to get to that later, or at least a big portion of it anyways. So I'm just going to talk about what matters. So first of all, like I said, I did make a video stating that I think the Switch 2 is going to fail for a few reasons. You should go watch that video, because we're not going to go into those old topics. If you just want to know, go watch that video. But I got a lot of crap from that video. All right, I already put the little intro showing the hate comments, even though I said do not yap in the comments, but they didn't read the description. But especially that Mr. Jim guy, yo, bro, he was crazy. I think that's But yeah. So first of all, it started out with Mario Kart World, which actually looked pretty cool. I mean, this Mario Kart. But first of all, I do think the animation wise, it was definitely not as good as 8 Deluxe, at least in my opinion. I don't like the extreme cartoonish design, but that's just me. It being free roam is I know a lot of people like that. It's definitely weird to me. I don't know why it's free roam. I don't know why they felt like that was a priority, but it's free roam. Maybe they could do something with that. The 24 characters in one race, that's cool. But in it being called Mario Kart World, keep it distinct, decent, and they saved them. What am I talking about? Yeah. And yeah, it was decent. Mario Kart World was decent, but $90? Oh no, not that. $80? $80 for Mario Kart World. I'm not paying that. It's not that good for $80. It might be the equal amount as good as Mario Kart 8, and I already own that. That just considering that I get the Switch 2, then I'm probably not gonna get. Anyways, they move on to a gimmick. It's actually a gimmick, because in the last one, I said I wasn't going to get to old topics, but I'll get to old topics real quick. I said it didn't have enough gimmicks. This is actually a gimmick, but it's a decent gimmick, but definitely needs working on. So it's the C button, and it can access, like, your camera, or not your camera, but it's like voice. It's like Discord, but on Switch. And honestly, it's not that great. Okay, they could have done something really good with that, but the technology is just not there. All right, the technology is just not there. If you go back in the Direct, I'm probably gonna show some clips. It is very laggy. All right, and plus, if you want to use a face cam, you have to literally go buy something that's probably gonna be like $100. That being that you even use this voice chat, and let's be honest, you're probably not going to, because it's Nintendo. If you really wanted to chat with your friends that bad, you'd either, one, play the game at your house instead of doing it over the internet. Because we know Nintendo's online junk is not that great. Not the system itself. The description, if Nintendo was actually just doing the description, you'd take the online off, and it was just, description with the retro games, that would be good. I'm talking about genuinely online, like online play. We know Nintendo's not good with that. So, you're probably going to, just play one game at your house, or B, just use Discord or Messenger or something like that. You're not gonna use the Nintendo app, especially with the face cam, because no one's getting that camera. It looks laggy. It looks bad. So honestly, I forget a lot of the titles they said. However, I can tell you one thing: it is a lot of re-releases that I think you have to get upgrade pack for. Also, ignore the noise in the background. That's a movie. That my family's watching. But yeah, you have to get an upgrade pack and a lot of re-releases. And it's just like I said in the other video, that depending on what game selection they had, that might encourage people to buy this. But other than Mario Kart 8, the recording stopped. Anyways, other than Mario Kart 8, I really there's not a title, and there's a Donkey Kong game. I guess that's cool, but well, they talking, they yapping in the background. They yapping. I'm trying to make a video. Anyways, other than Mario Kart 8 and maybe that 3D Donkey Kong game, it's just a lot of re-releases. They need like upgrade packs for it. And yeah, it looks nice, but this is backwards compatible with Switch 1 games, and it's gonna probably be cheaper. I feel like I'm just gonna get those games if I really want to play the games. That even considering that I get a Switch too, then let's be honest, I'm probably not getting a Switch too, because yeah, you remember last video I said I think it was gonna be like $400. The two prices that's surfing around the internet is $450 and $500. $500. That's too much. Too much money. $500. That's crazy. Yeah, that's the biggest complaint people are giving is the prices. Matter of fact, this game, and it could have easily been the prepackaged game. It could have been the Wii Sports of the of the Switch 2, and it kind of just explains how it works. But you have to pay for it, and it's just like it's literally a game where like it explains the Switch, right? It's a game where like it explains the Switch. And it's just like, why do I have to pay that much money just to know that? Like I'm looking it up on YouTube. I'm not playing it just to learn about the Switch. When you gotta pay that much, all right? And I know I'm not one of those greedy persons that thinks everything needs to be free. But dude, if it's a game to teach you how to play the Switch too, I'm just looking it up online, bro. And it's very clear Nintendo's trying to make money on that game, but I'm just looking up online. And oh yeah, the mouse feature. At first, it looked promising, and it actually looks promising. At first, and the reason I said at first is because they showed something like in that game. It's actually the prepackaged game, I'm pretty sure, or not the prepackaged, the one that teaches you how to use the Switch too. And it actually, you had some mini games with the mouse, and it actually looked pretty fun. Obviously, nothing spectacular, but it just looked like some fun mini games. It actually looked pretty neat. But then they showed another game that showed how you could use the mouse features. I think it was called Dragon Drag or something like that. I'll put the real name, or whatever. And that game looked mid. It looked like a basketball wheelchair game, and it looked mid. It did not look good. It looked very mid. Why is that the game? They literally could have picked up any game for the mouse feature. Like they could have added gating over it on the Switch where you could use the mouse. There's a lot of cool things they could have done with the mouse feature. Even if it's really gimmicky, there's a lot of cool things they could have done, because with those mini games I saw in the thing that taught you how to play the Switch, it actually looked the mouse feature looked pretty promising. But that's the game they're trying to sell you on with this mouse feature. No, man. No. They had potential with that, but no. And then they became a part of the Direct where it just showed a bunch of third-party games. I cannot tell you one of those third-party games. They're that forgettable. And it's like, Nintendo, you could have made a new 2D Mario, a new 3D Mario, a new Punch-Out, a new Kirby, actually, I was just about to say a new Zelda. I do think they actually did do a new Zelda, but no, I think it was like a spin-off game. I'm gonna have to show that on the screen. Yeah. But you could have done so much cool titles, but instead you showed these third-party titles that no one cares about, at least not me. But, yeah. I'm trying to think of more things about the Switch. And yeah, that's about all I can really think about it as of now. And I'll put some things at the end or something. But yeah, this was just kind of a video direct. But now we're actually gonna get to another part, and that is just saying that I think with this direct coming out, I think my predictions about this being the next Wii U are correct. I still think, because this is kind of a disclaimer, because I was going to do the big reveal. Do I still think it's going to fail? I still think it's going to fail. Because the whole thing, I was like, if the game, I had to see the game selections and the Direct and all that stuff to really determine. Because I was putting my money on the Direct. If the Direct was good and had good stuff, I was going to like the Switch 2 maybe. But, no, this Direct wasn't good. I already did not have high hopes for the Switch 2, and this just confirmed doubts. I'm sure Mr. Jim's rolling in his grave right now. Shout out to Mr. Jim. But, yeah, I still think this Switch 2 is going to fail. That's just my opinion, and yeah. So, I'll leave anything at the end if I forgot, maybe. And, yeah, God bless you all. Peep the chain, peep the chain. And, yeah, God bless the USA, God bless you all. I'll put some things here if I forgot, and yeah. Goodbye. So before ending the video, there is two things I want to say, and I'm going to get to those right now. One, and before I say what this one is, let me just backtrack a little bit. So you guys remember, like, the Wii U days? Now, I don't say I remember. What I meant to say is, you guys know the Wii U days. Well, yeah, if you do not remember, the commercials at that time weren't the greatest. They didn't have the greatest acting.
Hot buttered popcorn, that's a deal. Yeah.
And and the reason I want to bring that up is because that bit with the camera and the FaceTime, the actors there, I don't want to say they had bad acting, but their acting just didn't seem like real human interactions. And the second thing I want to bring up is that when I was editing this, or when I'm editing this, a second direct for the Switch 2 is happening. So, yeah, you guys might get another Switch 2 video soon. But anyways, that's it. God bless the USA. God bless you all. And have a good day. Goodbye.